Welcome back to the Rate My Chase Redox series. This time with what is my favorite episode of Season 3, Chase Trials. And this episode took a very long time to take. It took about 10 days. This was being planned since late last year, about September or October of last year, since, Danganronpa V3 came out in September 2017, and Rams was on Danganronpa 2, so I thought, you gotta have a huge feature film of this snit. So, of course, see the non-stop debates here. I had to ask 7 or 8 players to help me on their, voice acting skills, because of course CNR has a lot of actors, and by actors I mean not actors, but they act like something that they're not. However, trying to introduce this to the people to get them to help me was a bit awkward, because you look at this right now, and like I said in the Redox, this would be a bit tough to pitch. And I do remember I asked Cyborg, right? I asked Cyborg, to give me some lines and all of that. I just needed your voice. And, Borrelord showed the non-stop debate example in the radio Discord. And as soon as Borrelord posted it into the chat, Cyborg was like, "Oh, I'm not gonna be on no enemy weep shit." He was so mad and irate that he mispronounced both words. I'm gonna start using that, enemy instead of anime. Enemy wishi. I tell you, man. And you know how when you ask someone a question and they give you like an overdramatic reply, and it's like, well, you kind of expected the reply, but he answered with such vitriol, and it was like you had to sit there for a second and be like, Cyber, I didn't ask you to suck my cock, man. I asked you for your voice, alright? I just asked you for your voice, So, I tell you, man, Europeans get offended over some really, useless snits, But that also goes to show I don't understand how Cyber doesn't hate me yet, since I talk so much about him. But still, again, this is the 3rd most viewed Rate My Chase in history. And by the time this comes out, it may be the 2nd. But, this is a real pain in the ass to make. The non-stop debates you see right here, it's basically, after I got all the voice clips from everybody, and of course everyone else was, very inviting to this. Warlord was perfect. In fact, I think the only people who had backlash was Harry Thompson and Cyber, which is very obvious. This was also back when Harry and Cyber had the bromance thing going on. But I had to get the voice clips, had to put them together, and this animation you see on the screen right here took so much time to make, I tell you, I had to do this 4 different times, and it could have been better than this, because in the actual game, the red words that you see on the screen here, you can shoot down with the reticule right there, but it would have really been too much of an effort for me to do that. Or not really, I guess I was just lazy. But, you know, basically, I think I did Rackrat dirty here. I did Rackrat dirty here because I think she was the last one to give me lines, and of course, she was one of the few people who, you know, didn't give me voice clips, because everyone else besides Harry and Cyber and Messed Up Smiley gave me, you know, voice clips, files, because Rackrat doesn't know how to make voice clips. But I gave her like 4 lines, and in all 4 she sounded kind of hoarse, and you know, I was gonna ask her, hey Rackrat, these don't sound great, but I was like, alright, screw it, you know, she's the last one, I just want to make this snit already, you know. But you know, again, I wouldn't mistake senior players for being actors, but you know, some of them did well, some of them did average. Like Warlord was outstanding. You know, Lil Tank, you could hear the try-hard actor in his voice, but Lil Tank was outstanding. Cash was outstanding. You know, Vega was really good for what I expected. Ali was pretty good too. You know. Yeah, it's funny because like you know how people talk, right? They talk in a certain way, and then Cyber was kind of dead, which is different from, you know, the usual "shut up, bitch" or you know, "fuck you." That Cyber usually has that voice, and I screwed Harry Thompson here, of course, because you know, Harry Thompson is the ultimate vanilla anime hater, you know what I mean? So I gave him a line that would supplement him liking flat ass. But listen, Europeans like small girls, you know what I mean? So of course, I'm not sure why Harry would be offended by having a line that shows how he likes flat ass, because, you know, honestly, I'm not saying I don't like small girls too, but, you know, honestly, like, does Harry Thompson really want someone with a big ass? Nah, for real, man. But still, funny thing about Victoria Bitch here is that if I didn't make this Danganronpa feature film, this probably would have been a Victoria Bitch LA Chronicles, because I think he was in 4 or 5 of the 9 chases that I made during this day, recorded during this day. So too bad for Victoria Bitch. He could have had a Chronicles. By the way, never mind. But I'll tell you, especially during this one right here, the Rebuttal Showdown, I had to go inside the game very many times to get this sword thing, and it was really annoying, and I had to literally cut it out using Sony Vegas, and that was a bit tedious, very tedious, I tell you. You know, and in the end, you know, it's funny because I didn't know how long this episode would be until I put all the parts together. And I saw it would be 72 minutes. And before I get on that, I mean, the Mako, Wisconsin thing, I tell you, man, like, I completely skewed Mako, Wisconsin again. Now, listen, coming into 2018, I was like, alright, I'm gonna stop making fun of Mako, Wisconsin. I'm for real, alright? For real. Like, I'm gonna stop making fun of Mako, Wisconsin. But this was too irresistible. Yeah, I could not. Yeah, and she was subject to 2 of the 5 of the non-stop rebuttal showdown things. Because, Mako Wisconsin is just one of the easiest people to make fun of. The funny part is, for non-stop debates, like I made them individually before the feature film came out, right? And I would post some of them in Discord, right? So, talking about disco, I know that the Las Venturas punks, they like to make fun of disco, and I was like, honestly, disco a few years ago was kind of, messed up in the head. He's not as bad now, but I noticed that I posted the Mako Wisconsin non-stop debate, which is coming later, in Lil Tank's Discord, right? And then, of course, since I'm a stalky person, it doesn't really show. But, I'm kind of like a low-key warlord, but I'm not a warlord because he kind of stalks, you know what I mean? But 3 days later, I looked at the watch times, like, because in YouTube, right, you can check to see which countries watched your video, right? And the video was unlisted. So I noticed, because Disco, what he does is he appears offline on Discord like a creep, you know what I mean? So I noticed he watched the video because it said someone from Canada watched. Of course, the only person in Lil Tank's Discord from Canada is Disco. And I also noticed someone from Argentina watched the video. And that Wisconsin from Argentina. So, listen, here's the thing, like, transparency is the key, alright? Now, Disco, obviously, him and that Wisconsin are a thing, but I would respect you a bit more if you had told me you had shown Mako Wisconsin a non-stop debate. Like, you could have been like, hey, Rashanya, I'm gonna show my grill this. Instead of, being a weasel about it. But, that's anything for white knightery, right? But anyway, this is the side taxi here. This was the easiest part of the feature film, I'll tell you. The questions were not as good. In fact, the questions were better than Rem's episode, but it still wasn't great. But I used Just One Gamer's playthrough and put the caption ahead of it. So, the problem is, I actually wanted people to see this because I thought it was pretty interesting, but it was smack dab right in the middle of the feature film. So it's like, when people see a long, video, what do they usually watch? The beginning and the end. You don't really look in the middle, do you? So this might have been lost, but I thought it was great. Also funny, going back to the length of the video, 72 minutes. I made sure I emphasized that the episode was 72 minutes long, because how people are, like, there was a subset of people that watched Rate My Chase back in season 1, back when it was like 5 or 6 minutes long. Like, for example, the Lil Tanks, the Cybergs, you know what I mean? Like, people like them, they only have the attention span to watch 5 or 6 minute videos. You know what I mean? So I kind of wondered, like, when Rate My Chases became longer, like 10 plus minutes, like, would people still watch, you know what I mean? Because for some reason I catered to people like Lil Tank and Cyberg, who have the attention span of a rat, which I shouldn't have done. However, in season 1, chases were very short anyway, so it didn't really matter. But I remember, like, again, I emphasized that this would be 72 minutes. for like 2-3 days, because I'd finished it pretty much 2-3 days before I had released it, and I kept saying in Discord, I said in the previous Rate My Chase that chase trials would be 72 minutes long. And you know when you tell somebody something, like you tell someone a very important fact, right? And like you say it over and over again, then when the time comes for something to happen, they act like it's the first time they've seen it or heard it, right? So again, I emphasized it would be 72 minutes, which like I'm doing right now. And then I release it. And then Little Tank is like, ah, shit! This is an hour long! No, I'm like, I've been saying that for 3 days. Stupid. You know? Oh, but the funny part is, I knew that this would be a highly watched Rate My Chase because I worked so hard on it, but I didn't expect for it to gain views this quickly. And of course, gaining views quickly is different for me as opposed to, a guy on SnitTube is very good. And let me get back to that, because this is the Macca, Wisconsin nonstop debate. Boy, I loved this one, I tell you. Making fun of Macca, Wisconsin is really at a premium, and I tell you, man, like these bar rats out here, man, like, I'm telling you right now, I'm the first one who made fun of this fag. Alright?
Who cares about that?
And for Disco, people made fun of that guy like 3-4 years ago. So, you guys are just getting to the party right now,
Admin of my dick.
But,
Did you say bug?
I tell you, man.
Anybody got some bug spray?
There were a lot of these, Having the text float on the screen was the toughest part of making this. It was really the most annoying and tedious part, man.
At least record can stay connected.
That's why I did this second. This is the first tough thing I had to do. And all that, but I just loved putting the Danganronpa music in here. I really did. And all that. And I just forgot what I was going to talk about.
I'm sure someone has seen my gosh.
I was talking about something, I forgot what it was. I think it was about the length of the video or whatever. Oh, yeah. But I noticed that this Rate My Chase had the most views after 1 month in Rate My Chase history. And it goes back to the anime thing, I tell you, man, I think Cyber, go back to what I said about Cyber, I think Cyber would have been less offended if I asked him to suck my cock, as opposed to give me his voice for the non-stop debates, for real, it really doesn't make any sense whatsoever, But then again, as far as views for this episode, it would kind of make sense for this to get more than the others, because, when you mash two things together, it brings over some of the community from the other side, you know what I mean? So, I guess I shouldn't be surprised, but, like I said, soon enough, this episode, if not by the time I upload this, is going to pass Asian M for views, and I expect over the next month or month and a half, Chase Trials will be the most viewed episode of Rate My Chase history, which would give a big fuck you to the guys who are offended by anime and snit, you know what I mean? But yeah, this is a lot of fun to make, and it was also a pain in my ass to make. But I do sincerely thank all the fags that helped me, lending me their voice and all that. Like I said before, no matter how much money talks in about you, just like I'm talking about Cyber the entire video here, you know, I appreciate it, despite the fact that some of you can't act worth snit. Anyway, this was the climax reasoning, the closing argument, and I kind of screwed up in this one, I think. I wanted this to be a bit longer. Like, I wanted the reticule here not to move so fast, but I didn't notice how fast it was moving until I almost finished it. And the funny thing is, like, you know, this was very tedious to make because I had to get screenshots of different people throughout all the chases, put them on the screen, then, you know, move them to each question mark. You know, it's very tedious, I tell you. My regret, though, is not making this segment longer because, you know, then again, I'm not really sure how many people actually saw this through, you know, because you could have, you know, thought for a few seconds and be like, ah, that's the correct answer. Yeah, I mean, interactive videos. Yeah, I mean, though, difference is this took like an hour, you know, 2 minutes at most. This segment right here, but this was really tedious. I had to like skip through a whole bunch of class trial in V3 just to get to this segment. I had to rip the timer out. I had to rip the reticule out, and then sit for like 7 minutes so that I didn't have to reloop anything. And let's see. We're almost done here. Holy snap! No, 6 minutes now. Well, and here was the ending before the argument armament.
If you got this far, thanks for watching the most heavily edited.
I wonder how many fogs did get this far. I know of 2 people who watched this straight through, but I'm not sure. Like, you know, I will admit, yes, this is the 3rd most watched episode, but as far as average watch time, it's not up there, mainly because Americans, like I talk about Europeans all the time, but Americans don't have, you know, Americans don't like tune in, like they don't stay, you know what I mean? The European viewers usually, you know, stick in and watch a few more minutes, you know what I mean? So, GG to you Europs out there, I guess.
That's enough for me. Thanks to just one
You know,
playthrough of this game.
at the end I was like, damn, you know, 72 minutes. Anybody gonna watch this shit? You know? But after seeing this, I noticed that length of time in a video doesn't really matter. Like, for example, in baseball, you know, baseball games last just as long as, you know, American football games, but people don't like watching baseball because there's not a lot of action. But American football, there is. So it's all about action density, not the length of something. But, you know, so I was right about making longer rate my chases. Still, this is also one of my most favorite parts of this episode. I went into the game and did this, and with the exception of the 7 or 8 presses I missed in a row here soon enough, I was very happy with hitting all of these and all that. You know what I mean? That's why in the opening segment I was like, you know, come on, man. At least watch the argument armament, you know what I mean? Because it looks really trippy. You can't get this in CNR, I tell you, man. You can't. 100%. I remember playing this the first time through. Belarus and Rackrat were talking in my ear, man. You know. and I kind of screwed it, but doing this a few times by myself, loved it. But yeah, we're almost done here, so, you know, if there was going to be a Rate My Chase in Season 4 that will show the unused chases from Chase Trials, I will say that there will be some Danganronpa V3 elements, but it's not going to be as flagrant as the ones in this video, of course. But, you know, I advertised this pretty well. I put it in the CNR News, gave a sneak peek. I said this would be happening from October last year, at least. You know. So, I think I did a very good job with that one. I guess I should be an advertising consultant. Eck. But yeah. Hitting all the notes on this bitch, I tell ya. We've gotten to the point now where I've run out of things to say, and we're just watching the mini game here, I guess. Everything I want to say right now I've already said. But I tell you, bull rats, man. You bull rats, y'all are messed up. You know? This is masterpiece at its finest, alright? Chase Trials is a complete masterpiece. And for all you haters out there, bro, not haters of me, but, you know, oh, here's one thing I wanted to say, like, you know, I remember the donkey the day I gave on Serostables from his ass, you know, that was in February, which is a month before this came out, and I was like, you know, once that happened, I was like, alright, I'm gonna make Chase Trials the best thing it can be. And all that, you know, I remember I put this idea in the radio Discord, and Assassin was like, "Oh, stupid." You know, but obviously he's a, you know, Assassin's a fag, you know, don't know the admin who's kind of a bitch. So, you know, I was like, you know, that inspired me to, you know, continue to make this be huge. We got 10 seconds left, so that's gonna be it for the Chase Trials Redox episode. We'll see you next time on the Rate My Chase Redox series. Signing off.